Hello everyone, it's Wednesday, October 12th, and today Guardian Heroes HD Remix was released on XBLA. And we're going to take a look at its demo right now. A little bit of background. Guardian Heroes was initially a Saturn game developed by Treasure. It's a beat-em-up, and a game that seems to not have gotten any play since its initial release. I don't think it was ever re-released on anything. And I was looking forward to this one because I liked it on the Saturn, but I have not played it since then. It's been years. I haven't played it since it was brand new, actually, but I do remember liking it a lot back then. So I was anxious to see if it held up over time. So I called it HD Remix. There are two graphics modes, Original, Remix. Original is original Saturn graphics, except in widescreen now. Of course, original Saturn graphics, so the resolution in 4x3 would have been, I suppose, 320 by 240, something like that. However, if you want the full 720p's, you can turn it up to Remix. Whether you want to do that, well, we'll take a look at what that looks like. Suffice to say, they did not redraw all the 2D graphics, only some of it. So I do prefer to go with original graphics. That looks a bit better to me. We're going to start out by looking at the story mode, the one-player mode, and we'll take a look at the verses after that. Since it's the demo, those are the only two that are available. The characters we can pick from, they all have their own different strengths and weaknesses, of course. The swordsman here, Han, is probably the best character for beginners, so we're going to use him. He's the strongest, the bruiser of the team, the strongest single-hit character, and the toughest. This game has a lot of story in it, a lot more story than you would get from your typical beat-em-up, which was one of the things that differentiated it at the time. It starts off with a group of thieves that have stolen an ancient sword. Alright, we could follow them, but we might as well start off and see what the gameplay is like. So it's, like I said, it's a beat-em-up, and it's pretty much combo-based, with a certain other gimmick that many other beat-em-ups don't have, in that there are 3 rows in each screen. So even though it's a 2D side-scroller, we can go back and forth into background and foreground, thus tripling the gameplay area. So our character Han has the legendary sword, and as I said, he is the best choice for beginners just because of how powerful he is. You don't really have to worry about knowing how to do combos, or much in the way of special moves, just because all he really has to do is hack and slash with that big sword of his. We also have magic. Start off with a fireball spell, though if I'm using Han, I'm not going to be using too much magic probably. He's not really a magic user. I don't remember too much about the game, so as far as the advanced mechanics of it, I could not tell you anything about that. I played through the demo before starting recording this, and that's really all I remember of anything Guardian Heroes. Refresh my memory a little bit. I still could not tell you about the more advanced aspects of the gameplay. But you can see basically what it's all about. It's a fun beat-em-up. That's heavy on storyline. As you can see, the game is extremely anime, which was something that certainly appealed to me back in the 90s. I still like the look of it now. I still think it looks pretty good. Because, you know, back at the time, these were enormous sprites. You know, you didn't have many games in which the sprite work was this big. Whoop. You want to get away from her magic effect because your teammates' magic can hurt you. Yeah, see, my fireball spell actually hurt her. I don't think I really have to worry about her because I think she's immortal at this point. And this is also experience-based, so the more enemies we fight, the stronger we'll become. I don't think that's true. Pretty sure the lion can still bite harder. I'd like to get up in the front row. Even though everyone else seems to be ganging up on her in the middle. I have a bit of a stronger enemy right there, that Axe Knight, who seems to be leading everyone else. Let's try to get back to him. Oh, he's going. Hey. Okay, here we go. Yep, he's out of the way. Because Han is just incredibly powerful compared to the other characters. At least for right now. It's basically the idea that if you learn how to use the other characters, then everyone's pretty powerful. But as for right now, you just keep wailing on the attack buttons. You can see my health meter at the top of the screen, and the enemies really have not been able to put a dent in it. It probably would be different if I was using a different character. Alright, and that's everyone, I think. So yeah, we can advance off into the forest. And we get a name for our nameless ally, Serena. And now we fight a robot. A robot that fires death lasers. And I believe he has machine gun arms, too. And probably just, yeah, we're going to want to get on both sides of him and just wail on him. And he won't be able to do anything. Alright, so we insulted our ancient sword, and it resurrected a skeleton that one-shotted a death robot. You can kind of see how the plot of this game goes so far. Unfortunately, Han does not have the powerful ancient sword anymore. We go with his normal sword. But it is a good trade-off, because now we get this guy, the undead hero, who's going to be helping us throughout the game. Right, so we can command the undead hero. However, as for right now, there really isn't any reason to give him any other commands except kill everyone who comes near us. Which he will do very well. He is very good at that. He is much more powerful than Serena. And honestly, I'm swinging my sword, but I honestly don't actually have to do anything. He'll take care of these guys all by himself. Unfortunately for us, the undead hero does not discriminate. He will murder his own kind. You can see he has absolutely no problem at all doing that. And time for a mini-boss, this cave troll-looking cave troll. Probably what we're going to want to do. It's like with the robot, I'm going to want to get on the other side of him, if I can, and try to keep the hero on... Yeah. No, hero, no. Don't attack the knights. Okay, again, I probably don't even have to do anything, because look at what the undead hero's doing. He's just messing up this troll. Yeah, he's dead already. I didn't even have to use any strategy. I mean, of course, this is still early on in the game. It does get much harder. But they do sort of ease you into things by giving you AI-controlled partners that do most of the heavy lifting for you, while you learn how to actually play the game, which is nice. And by the way, of course, I'm playing single player right now, but this is a multiplayer game. Of course, on the Saturn, that would have been local multiplayer. I know there is an Xbox Live mode in this game. I don't know if you can play online multiplayer in the story mode, though. I honestly don't know that. I know you can play online mode in Versus, which we'll be taking a look at. Now we get a bit of story development, as we will throughout the game. However, this is the end of the demo. They give us the first 2 areas, and that's it. It's a pretty good metaphor. Alright, another thing that separated this game that made it a bit unique is that it combines the beat-em-up with, well, let's say a choose-your-own-adventure book. We can choose where we want to go next. And our decisions will affect which levels we get to go to, what enemies and bosses we fight, and what ending we ultimately get. You will not do every level in one playthrough. You can't. You have to play the game multiple times to get every path, get every ending. So that's another thing that's very unique about this game. A lot of replay value in just the single-player mode. I can't think off the top of my head how many times you would have to play it to get every path, but it's a few. There are a few paths in this game. It really does branch out. But if this was the full game, and if we were continuing on, we could choose to go back to the town that the king's men just attacked. That does not seem like a very good idea. A safe village nearby, it's a possibility, or the Wildwood will shelter us. Considering that we're fugitives, I would think that would probably be a good choice. Alright, so we can go stay with his teacher then. Or we would if the game kept going. But yes, that's the single-player mode. As it mentions, Xbox Live co-op for story mode, so you can have online play in the single player. That's good. In the story mode. In what we were just playing, you can do online in that, so that's good. And online in versus mode. 45 characters for versus and arcade. Before we take a look at versus, I want to take a look at the remixed graphics. Now the remix graphics, okay, let's choose a different character this time. Let's go with the ninja. Plays a bit differently. So with the remix graphics, the character portraits have all been redrawn, and I think they look very nice. However, the sprites have not been redrawn. They look like they've had a filter applied to them. They look kind of smudged, and like some kind of pencil shading filter was applied. You can kind of see what I mean by looking at that sword. I mean, draw your own conclusions on that. I don't think it looks so great. I do like the redrawn portraits. That looks very nice and very in keeping with the style of the original graphics. But that filter does not look so great to me. Now, if you also look at the backgrounds, the 3D backgrounds, the polygonal, it does not look like they increased the quality of the texture. So it's still Saturn quality 3D back there, even though we're in the remix graphics. That's kind of a disappointment, and they looked a bit smudged themselves. Whereas in the original graphics mode, those polygonal graphics were pixelated, and I think probably that ended up looking better just because, yeah, I think, to me, the original raw pixels look a bit better than just smudging them like that. That's just my opinion. But I'm playing as the ninja, and I'm not doing so well right now, because he plays very differently than Han. He's a much faster character, much more combo-based. Much faster, but he doesn't hit for as hard, and enemies hit him harder as well. If I were to take the time to learn how to play him, I'd do much better, of course. So yeah, I mean, not even are there multiple paths throughout the game as incentive to replay the game, but also playing the game as different characters will lend to very different experiences. And we can just leave the room, by the way. But if I wanted to stick around to get more experience, I could. Like I said, it is experience-based. And we do want to get the experience where we can, to become stronger for later on in the game. Alright, I'm just gonna exit story mode right now because I've already seen this. I just wanted to take a quick look at the remix graphics. Like I said, I'm preferring original here just because I don't really like the filter that they put on the sprites. But, of course, that's going to be your own decision. I don't want to really influence that, even though I just said I prefer this. Anyway, versus mode. Have a local match, network match. It's a demo, so local match only. Only have one controller hooked up right now. Different versus modes we can pick. So what is versus mode? Well, if we look here, 12 character slots. I can only pick one. So does that mean we're going to have 12 fighters on screen at once? It does. And I don't know where I am. Where am I? Okay, I see where I am, and I'm in the right-hand corner. So this is just one of the versus modes where we have 12 characters all fighting it out in a free-for-all. I don't know what the other modes are like, but this one's quite chaotic, as you can see. And no one else is in the front row right now, so I guess I can just kind of hang out here until someone comes after me. Oh, here we go. Alright, yeah, kind of cheap. I just hung out until there were 4 left, I know. But yeah, that's... The versus mode, in the versus mode, hold on, let's go back to that character select. Want to... Okay, yeah. So, you can see how many character slots there are here. So you can pick, you unlock the characters from story mode, as well as a number of other, say, AI characters, NPCs, enemies. Like, that might be the silhouette of Undead Hero, I'm not sure. I know he's available. But yeah, I don't... Obviously, I have not had much experience with this, beyond what I've just done. But it looks like that this could add a lot of value to this package, a lot of potential playtime in this. Though really what I'm interested in is the story mode, and that's what I wanted to replay when I heard that Guardian Heroes was coming out on XBLA. And I'm very happy, I'm satisfied. Like I said, I wanted to know how this game held up since it was initially released, and I think it's held up very well. I think it's still quite good. And I'm definitely going to buy this and play through that story mode, because I never got all of the endings when I first played the Saturn version. In fact, maybe I only got one, I think. So there was still a lot that I did not see. So I'm definitely getting this, and I would say definitely give it a try. Download the demo, see what you think of it. I would say it's definitely worth your time to try this out. So Guardian Heroes HD Remixed, released today on XBLA.